and welcome back to Try Hard Tuesdays. I'm your bad and bodacious host, Troubadour, and I got a fun team for y'all today. Today we're once again in the standard custom arena, and we're not using Leviathan, guys. Shut up about Leviathan. I don't use Leviathan like all the time. I just hit my mic. Hope that doesn't pick up in the audio, whatever. But today's video, we're using a kind of star pack synergy, but kind of going a little bit over the top because, you know, we're in the customs arena, so we can kind of just take things up to 11. Though, honestly, you can do this build that I'm doing in the star pack, actually. I think it's all star pack stuff. I'm basically doing a big elk pivot into ostrich hamster and then just scaling like crazy. Now, the part you can't do in star pack is then I'm then transforming, you know, my high statted units with Compedo and Water of Youth into pets that have useful in battle abilities. So you can't do that part in star pack, but the rest of it, as long as you get like a good elk high roll and you find your ostrich and hamster, like you can go just as crazy as I do in this video. But in the meantime, in early game, we're just going to be building up a big cell unit, maybe getting some rolling things along the way and stuff like that. Also, if any of you are interested in trying out this pack, we'll have the link for it in the description below. I thought about taking Dumbo Octopus. In a previous run, I rocked with like a level 3 Dumbo Octopus almost the entire time. Dumbo's one of those pets, like, it's kind of good, it's kind of not, it's got good base stats, but its ability is just really fun, so I end up running it a lot, and sometimes it's not the best idea, but dude, when, like, in that run, I hit like an early garlic, and it was insane. I just had this giant garlic unit, which I didn't have garlic in this custom pack, but I mean, just in general, garlic is such a great food perk that it worked out pretty well. We'll take the gelada here and get a asparagus and a sushi onto it, so we get some nice money back, and we get some good stats, and that gets our frog up to 10 attack. Now, I don't think I had starfish in this pack. Yeah, I don't think I had starfish in this pack, so the 10 attack didn't really matter, but you know, the extra stat buffs on everybody is going to make a huge difference the next few turns. So I haven't actually won a game yet. This is my first round that I've won, but hopefully that extra stat buff is going to mean I stop bleeding hearts. Beta fish peel here as well, just to help me get some hearts, and you know, Bigfoot gives me some free rolls. I thought about doing stuff like Okapi, but I ended up deciding against it. I think if you get Okapi with a team like this, it can be really good, but I decided just to rock with, you know, good stats plus, you know, a couple Bigfoot in the meantime. Now, the idea for this build, you know, it's not like the most broken thing in the world. Like, it all relies on getting your ostrich to trigger a bunch of times in the turn, which is really random. It used to be worse, you know, an ostrich could only work on tier 6s, but now it just needs 4 pets of the same tier in the shop. Also, we get the elk, blobfish, and a gingerbread here, so we can hit level 2 elk in battle right away, which is super nice. But we can honestly, now that, you know, one, that ostrich is buffed, and two, by stacking a whole lot of hamsters or just things that give us more rolls, more money, we can kind of rig the odds in our favor and just by being able to roll more times in a turn, that gives us much better odds of triggering the ostrich. You know, I don't know, like say like I trigger like 7 times a turn. I think on one of these rounds, I trigger the ostrich 7 times in one turn. So yeah, that's what we're kind of doing today. Now, what's nice about custom packs is, like I said, this has all star pack stuff, but like you don't have to run just all star pack stuff. That's kind of what ended up happening for me. Like you can run, you know, Unicorn Star both have a lot of go to roll build pets. So like you can run like your couple of Yetis with, you know, Worm of Sand, Ostrich, Hamster, throw in like a Nessie or something like that. Like there's a couple, there's a few roll pets that can work well. Like I do have stuff like Yeti and Nessie in this pack that are just like really solid, you know, like you can go with Yeti instead of stacking a bunch of hamsters. It doesn't work as well with Ostrich. Yeti Ostrich doesn't really work unless whenever the Yeti roll, like say their Yeti rolls 4 times, then the ostrich will trigger. It won't trigger in the middle of the Yeti rolls, but at least it gives you a lot of roll triggers for something like a Nessie, or if you're running Worm of Sand, it can work well with that. But yeah, that's kind of the general idea here. Now it is turn 10. I've got level 3 elk, and look at that. We find 2 hamsters in the shop. We'll take them both, and we'll try and get one leveled up next turn. We find a 3rd hamster as well, so now they're both 1.5. I think I'm set it pretty good. I've got a giant cell unit. I think my frog's gonna hit 30 gold on the cell this turn. We are gonna lose, but we're already set up really well with our giant amount of gold, and we already have 2 hamsters on board, which will be super duper helpful. So at this point, we're just kind of rolling for especially an ostrich, but also more hamsters, but really want the ostrich so we can start scaling. I will take a chocolate here just to level up one of the hamsters. We now have 2 alpacas in the shop, so I'll take both of those. Just, you know, level 2 alpaca can help me pivot into an ostrich and a hamster a lot better. So that's what we're going to do. Look at that. We find the first ostrich here. There we go. And now with our alpaca, with our hamsters, with our ostrich, and then with all the gold we have from our frog here, we're gonna start going crazy. Now, I should have frog swap, actually used the frog to frog swap instead of just selling it for the gold. It would have been slightly more efficient, but it ends up not mattering in the end. It generates so many stats with this combo that the little bit of extra buff I could have gotten from frog swapping the stats, it didn't really end up mattering in the end. But here we are, 3 hamsters with an ostrich, and now at this point, there's our 4th hamster. All right, we've gotten 4 hamsters in, like, you know, on turn 10, turn 11, we found all the hamsters we need. Now we're just start rolling and scaling as much as we can. We still had like 20 something gold left over to start scaling with. We'll take more hamsters. Hey, the more hamster levels I have, the more free rolls I get to trigger my ostrich. It's already at level 2, so I think it's a really great way to get the stats going. I think next turn I'm going to speed it up because, you know, all these turns are just going to be a whole bunch of rolling. So there's not going to be like much to watch in terms of, you know, actual gameplay. It's just going to be roll, 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 roll. But yeah, now we're probably going to lose again this turn. Our stats are absolutely horrible for turn 11. That's because we're going to start getting really, really good stats. We pivoted almost our entire team, you know, and we are set up for success. 4 level 2 hamsters, level 3 ostrich now. And yeah, it's going to start getting a little bit out of hand. So there's our first ostrich trigger there. We'll buy a couple more lemons just because we have all this money, and, you know, lemons just really helpful. I have lemon and melon in this pack. I think I like putting both in the pack because they're both really good in the late game, and if you can't find one, maybe you can find the other. And yeah, we'll freeze chocolate as well because I do want to level up those hamsters so I get more triggers on my ostrich. Our team isn't like the best, but like 2022, that's a lot better than my stats last round. We faced this really bad Jersey Devils team with level 3 Badger in the back on turn 12. I'll take it. I mean, I could have lost to some really broken teams there, but I got lucky in that case. We get a trigger right there, and we're going to start going a little bit crazy. Is this the turn? I think it's next turn, the one that triggered like 7 times. I don't know how many times. I think I've done it 3 times already. We find 3 tier 6s right there. There's another trigger where we have 4. I'm not counting. You guys can count in the comments how many I've done this turn. That's pretty good. No tier 6 there, but we are set up for success next turn because we can roll a bunch. We can level up with our tier 6s. Reposition there so the tiger is on the amalgamation instead of the blowfish. I think that helped a ton. I think if we had to double the blowfish triggers with that small one, that could have done a lot of damage to our guinea pigs there. Guinea pigs, hamsters. I always call guinea pig hamster, but now I'm calling hamster guinea pig. This is ridiculous. But yeah, here we are. Check out all these stats. We've already triggered it once. There's 2. I think we're going to max out this turn. We're going to try and level up another hamster. That's 3 triggers. There's 3 tier 6s. We're going to level up the hamster here. That gives us 4. Freeze a couple tier 4s. And then that's going to be the 5th trigger right there. And we got some tier 2s. We're almost at 50-50. We're gonna try and get it here. Okay, 1 more trigger. Come on, can we get 7? Let's do 7. There we go, 7 triggers. That was because the ostrich was level 3. That's plus 21, plus 21 to the whole team, basically. So that's kind of insane, the amount of stats we got there. So like what? There's 4 pets. Would have been 84 plus 80. Yeah, it would have been an addition of 168 stats if I did my math correctly. So yeah. Now at this point, we're just going to try and level them up and look for some transformation food. Just, you know, use those stats on a more useful pet. We find 2 water youths here. We get a Nessie, which is amazing, and a raccoon, which is awesome. Raccoon's one of those pets, like, honestly forgot about because it got removed. It got moved from tier 2. It was in the puppy pack. It got moved from tier 2 to tier 3. Then it got moved to customs because it was too strong and became a tier 5. And its stats aren't that great, but if you can level it up, like, and get those stats, like, Raccoon is so good. You can steal coconuts and melons. It's basically you're removing the enemy perk and getting your own. We get another level 3 ostrich here, so I'm like, well, shoot, maybe I can scale my ostrich that I already had a little bit, you know? Maybe I'll transform it as well. I don't know. It could be fun. I mean, I got nothing else to do with my rolls. And yeah, with all of our 50-50s and our giant summon, I mean, but Nessie's a 50-50 summoning a 50-50. What are you gonna do at this point? We're just kind of in cruise control. Look at all those Yeti rolls. Gonna make our Nessie huge this turn. We're gonna transform. Okay, we get rid of the Yeti, but we transform our original ostrich into a lionfish, which is cool, except our stats aren't that great. I was kind of hoping for something a little more useful. Look at that. Stealing all those melons is so clutch. That's crazy. But yeah, last turn. Maybe look for a little bit more transformation food. I still freeze these pets even though I got rid of the ostrich. I didn't really need to freeze them anymore. At least we get a little bit of bird of paradise scaling. But yeah, I think that's going to be it for now. We'll freeze that water view. There was one I skipped earlier in the turn, but I decided not to use it. What do we face on the last turn here with our giant 50-50 squad all transformed? We face a Kraken, Microbe, and then I don't know what they've got in the back there on the Beluga. Is it a small one? No, it's another Eagle. And yeah, they're not going to stand up to me. That's going to be it, and that's going to be Try Hard Tuesdays. Hope you guys enjoyed this fun roll build. Like I said, I'll have the link for it in the description if you're interested. And of course, you can do something similar in Star Pack as well. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, do all the generic stuff. I'll catch you guys in the next video. But until then, as always, stay true.